Hello and welcome to Restore 2022. We are towards the end of the book of Joshua, chapters 21 and 22 for today. And as I've mentioned in the video yesterday, it was only the Levites who were not allocated the land. And in appointing them to 48 cities, including those 6 cities of refuge that we saw in chapter 20, these Levites had access to pastures for their livestock, but they did not inherit any land. Actually, the Levites were pivotal for the spiritual influence that they had on the whole nation. They were the Lord's servants, called to teach God's words, worship, and called to lead God's people by good examples of what it looked like worshipping Yahweh, because this was paramount. This was part of being people of God. But now they were no longer just in one place, just in the tabernacle, like in the days of the wilderness, but they were spread across the lands with easy access to all the different tribes, really. So they had no excuses. This was just a privilege and an opportunity to learn the statutes of the Lord, to continue to worship Him, to continue to live the godly living. The last 3 verses of chapter 21 serve as a link of the 2 closing chapters of the book with the rest of the book, or what we've read so far. These last verses of chapter 21 invite the reader to ponder on the goodness of God, and as a result, to respond in persevering in godly living, because His good promises consist of His grace, faithfulness, and power, and this is extended to God's people. And even more so as believers in Jesus. Every time we celebrate communion, Christ invites us to taste of the goodness of God's promises fulfilled in Jesus' incarnation, life here on earth, death, resurrection, and the glorious prospect of His return. Then we move on to chapter 22. The land has been conquered. The men of the tribes whose lands lie east of the Jordan now have fulfilled what they've been asked to do. Their mission is accomplished. So Joshua blesses them and sent them back home. But just over the Jordan, they stopped to build a replica altar. This action was misunderstood by the other tribes, who really thought that they were being idolatrous. They were alarmed and they reacted thinking that this is really apostasy. I mean, it was legit, as it was what God had commanded the Israelites to do, because if they saw any actions that they would seek to lead people away from God, that they would be in trouble. And God would bring judgment. But Phinehas and others were sent to double check. They were sent as a delegation. And actually, in the end, they allowed this altar to remain in place and fulfill the purpose it was built for in the first place. It was there for testimony of God's goodness. But this incident illustrates sometimes that even initiatives with the best of motives and for a good cause can bring a lot of upsets and could be the source of conflict and division. Actually, it's very encouraging to see that the 2 and 1.5 tribe and the other Israelites genuinely desire to honor the Lord. And this is admirable. But perhaps a gentle confrontation combined with an honest discussion of the problem can often result in a resolution and bringing peace out of a misunderstanding. And as the good and wise book of Proverbs says, soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. I need to be reminded of that today. The Israelites dealt wisely with a situation that could have easily divided them, could easily messed up the whole thing. but they were able to continue to follow God faithfully and in unity. Join us tomorrow for the last 2 chapters in the book of Joshua. God bless you.